All right, welcome to this morning's cutting room. We finished off Ezra last week at church, and so this week we'll be continuing on to Nehemiah of chapters 1 to 2. We saw the temple rebuilt and the people reestablished in God's word, and now we're seeing the city rebuilt, and that's where Nehemiah comes in. So Nehemiah is introduced to us as he gets news from his brothers that the city is a total shambles. And for Nehemiah, that's a really personal thing. So I want to pick up on this one word in our passage that kind of shows how personal it is for Nehemiah. And that word is the word heart. It comes up twice, once in verse 2 and once in verse 12. And in verse 2, we see Nehemiah who's been praying over the city of Jerusalem, and he can't withhold the sadness from his face. And so the king says to him in verse 2, "This is nothing but sadness of the heart." You see, for Nehemiah, to know that God's blessing is being withheld from his people in Jerusalem, that causes him pain. That causes him sadness. His eyes are open to just how sad and sick it is to not have God in the lives of his people. So he feels the pain in his heart, and it shows on his face as well. The second instance we see the word heart is in verse 12, where Nehemiah reflects on this. He says, "I told no one what God had put into my heart to do for Jerusalem." You see, not only did Nehemiah feel the pain in his heart, he also felt like God's purposes, God's plans had been placed in his heart. He wanted to do something to make these people come back to God, to be reestablished in God's place. And so maybe God would even use Nehemiah's plans to answer his very own prayer. And that's what we'll be thinking about on Sunday. Now, I wonder whether the things of God pain your heart when they don't come to be. I bought this new Bible recently. My children decided to draw on it. That pains my heart. I'm sure there's all sorts of things that pain your heart, but maybe the challenge Nehemiah brings to us this Sunday, and maybe you can start thinking about it now as you read Nehemiah chapters 1 to 2, is how have your eyes been open? How has your heart been pained? How have you been praying to see this world that is in ruins, that is in shambles, come back to the blessings of God? So that's what we'll be thinking about this Sunday. But perhaps you can open your eyes, you can open your mouth to pray this morning and see where what God shows you.